We're back with another video on Infinite Insights. Y'all notice anything different? I'm filming on my new camera and I love it so much, and I can finally actually see myself while I'm recording, which I love that. So today I will be talking about why I'm no longer protecting my peace. And that might sound a little crazy, but I'm gonna explain, because once I get to explaining stuff, it's all gonna make sense. I promise you. So just to give a little background, I just want to give a little background about me. And it almost feels like my whole entire life I've dealt with some type of depression or anxiety, and I started experiencing that really young. So for me, I guess protecting my peace kind of became this thing of where I was kind of avoiding situations that I knew would trigger me. Any instance where a doctor or a therapist would recommend or ask me hey, do you want to try medication or whatever the case may be, that's personally something I always denied, because it was just one of those things where it's I don't know if it's just my stubbornness or if it's just one of those things where it's I just did not want to, I just kind of wanted to figure myself out and understand myself, which I feel I'm doing a really good job at doing, because I feel like I've gotten to a place over the past couple of years where I feel my mental health is really stable compared to the way it used to be. But that's besides the point. When it came to protecting my peace, I feel I kind of got in this mode where I would avoid certain situations that I knew would trigger me. So for example, I used to kind of faint or become drowsy when I was in spaces with a lot of people, which I've overcome that now, because now if you watch my Instagram, I go to a lot of concerts and things like that. But before, that was something that I had a really hard time with, because if you don't know, at least for me, when my depression and anxiety, we become very mentally exhausted by things very easily. You know what I'm saying? We can become mentally exhausted with things just the everyday things, waking up, brushing your teeth, getting in the shower, stuff like that. So because those acts of the day used to make me already exhausted enough as it is, I used to go out my way to make sure that I would get in no other situations that could trigger me, that could make me upset, that could anything. It was just one of those things where I was I'm not gonna put myself in any other situation where that's gonna make me uncomfortable, things like that. And more recently, I feel I've definitely been getting out of my comfort zone a lot, and I wasn't just not doing anything in high school. I did do a lot of things that would get me out of my comfort zone. I was on a speech team, I did this, I did this thing called lip sync where you dance in front of the school. With high school, I graduated a little bit early. Graduating was something that graduating early was something that I kind of always wanted to do. In the back of my mind, I definitely thought to myself I'm getting out of high school early, because I just can't fucking stay in high school. It just bothers me so bad, and it was just such an exhausting experience for me. It wasn't completely bad. I'm not gonna trash it completely, you know what I'm saying, because I had good friends, I had good classes, I was taking AP classes, I had a great education, high school experience in that way. But just for me personally, it was just exhausting for me, and just the way my mentality was at that time. So when I finished early, I had a little bit of time throughout that period before I started college or whatever the case may be. And when I started that period of time, that little period of time where I was just kind of by myself, I wasn't really talking to nobody, because all my friends for the most part were still in school. I had some friends that were older, but for the most part, I was just spending time with myself. And throughout that time, I learned a lot about myself. But throughout that time, I got very adjusted to doing things the way I wanted to do them. You know what I'm saying? I had no school. I was taking online college classes, but the point is, I never had to be anywhere at a certain time. I never had to speak to anybody. If I didn't want to deal with people, I didn't have to deal with them, because I wasn't at school. I got used to handling things in the way that I wanted to handle them. I got used to doing things on my time, and anything I wanted to do or didn't want to do, it was literally all in my hands, because I had no obligations, to the point where if I didn't want to deal with shit, I didn't have to deal with shit. And sometimes that's good, but then I realized when I got to college that going from a period of time where I could deal with things on my timing and the way that I wanted to deal with them, to going in a situation where you're put back in you're fully back submerged in academics and social and all of that, and these things are constantly happening to you, X, Y, and Z, and you can't always push them to the side and deal with it when you feel like dealing with it. You know what I'm saying? I had to get back in the swing of okay, not everything's gonna happen on my timing, but I have to learn how to deal with these things. And I feel even though I enjoyed that time and I learned a lot about myself when I like first graduated early or whatever, I feel like when I got to college, it just I kind of had these like shock moments, you know what I'm saying? Because it was just like, I was like, damn, like life, even though you should make your life as much in your favor as you want to, is not always going to be in your favor. My freshman year of college was a very interesting experience. I feel like one of the ways that I'm saying that I'm not protecting my peace anymore is like freshman year of college, obviously like the social aspect of like freshman year of college can be very interesting. Some people have a great time, some people had a horrible time. I did not have the best time. And I feel like after that, like when I didn't thrive socially that the way that I'm used to thriving, because like back home I have a lot of friends, like I know a lot of people like back in my area, like stuff like that, but it's like they are a totally different like type of people than what I'm used to. I feel like it kind of like triggered me, and it kind of triggered an insecurity in me that I didn't know I had. So I feel like subconsciously I started isolating myself a lot simply because I was protecting my peace. Like I thought I was protecting my peace, and to a certain extent I was, because like I was focusing on my academics, like stuff like that. But at the same time, like protecting my peace by isolating myself like that was not doing me a favor, because subconsciously what I was doing is I was protecting myself from any more social rejection that I thought that I was going to experience. And I feel like in the long term that kind of like made my first year experience a lot worse than like what it actually could have been, because I feel like when you don't constantly like put yourself up and like confront those situations, you kind of almost forget how to even approach the situation again when it comes to you again. One thing I'm learning is that even though like I've always preached to people like protect your peace, I feel like I always looked at peace as something that you create, if that makes sense. Like I'm not saying that's wrong, but like I always kind of looked at peace as something that you create, because I feel like with everything that I've gone through in my life, I've created my peace. The peace I have now, I feel like I did the work to get there, which I did. But now I'm starting to realize, I'm trying to look at it less like, I'm trying to not look at it as much as something that like I built, is something like physical that I built, like oh my god I have peace now because I built that brick by brick. Like no, I'm trying to look at it more so as a mentality, because if you truly have peace, no matter what situation you're put in, even if you're put in like one of the most stressful situations, at the end of the day, like if your default state is always that peaceful state, you're always gonna have, even if you feel a little bit stressed out, it's not gonna overwhelm you to the point where it's like through the roof. You know what I'm saying? Your default state is always gonna be to go back to that peace. So even when you're entering a situation that you weren't prepared for, or that maybe your mind wasn't ready to deal with and things like that, like if peace is just that baseline mentality, then I feel like you don't really have to protect it, because it's just in you. It's not something that, it's not a physical thing. It's not an idea that you have to protect. Like peace is in you, and that's what it should be. And that's like what I'm starting to learn, because I feel like when you like go through a lot, like you get in this stage of like, you know, you just want to like, you know, you just want to like protect yourself from like everything. Like like that, like don't fuck me, don't do this. But it's just like I realized that now that I'm getting older, like I just turned 19, now that I'm getting older, like I really cannot do stuff like that. And this summer I feel like I've been getting outside of my comfort zone. I've been hanging out with new people, I've been doing this, I've been doing that. I love going to concerts, I love doing this. So it's just like I do feel like I'm getting better with that, but I will no longer be saying like I'm protecting my peace in order to avoid putting myself in situations that make me uncomfortable, because the only way you can grow is by putting yourself in uncomfortable situations, which I will be putting myself in a lot of uncomfortable situations this year, because I want some new experiences and I want to learn what all there is to learn. Now this is not something that I do, but this is something that I noticed that like a lot of other people do. Something I noticed that a lot of other people do is they will say they're protecting their peace, but really protecting their peace is just avoiding any type of conflict. There's a lot of people who will sit and who will like literally go along with like stuff that's like bothering them or whatever the case may be, have like secret animosity towards you because you're doing something that's like bothering them or whatever the case may be. And then like they call, like if you ask them like why they didn't say anything, they'll be like I'm protecting my peace. But like being afraid of causing conflict is not protecting your peace. If anything, you're creating more so of your peace, or you're getting in that peaceful mentality when you practice communication effectively to the point where it doesn't make you uncomfortable. You're getting in that peaceful state more so when you become confident in how you feel about things, to the point where even if somebody else doesn't exactly pick up or receive what you're saying to them, at least you were confident enough, you're getting in that state of peace to the point where, okay, even though they weren't necessarily receptive to what I said, I did what I needed to do and I communicated what I need to communicate at the end of the day. I just feel like people need to stop doing that, because I feel like protecting your peace is not avoiding conflict. Now, I'm not saying that, you know, of course, like, if you don't gotta go beat somebody's ass because they piss you the fuck off, like, you don't gotta go beat their ass. Like, protect your peace. Like, that's just a whole nother level. But if you're not telling people how they make you feel, if you're toning yourself down because people in the past have once, like, they've criticized you and said you're too emotional, you're too this, you want too much, you're asking for too much, like, that is not protecting your peace. That's just submitting to what other people want you to be. Like, that's not, like... Protecting your peace can also look like only socializing with certain type of people. So this can look like, you know, when you go out, when you're making friends, you only go for these same type of people. You only conversate with the people the same. This is you, the same, that is you, that grew up in the same place as you. Okay, cool. Like, whatever the case may be. Like, I understand. Like, I have my people, you know what I'm saying, that, like, they understand me. They know where I'm come from. Like, those people know me. But I'm not isolated just to only getting to know people who are like me. I expand my range and I get to know so many different people, and it's honestly been one of the best things. Like, I love getting to know different people. Like, I love having a diverse group of people that I can hit up and I can text and I'll be like, hey, if you want to do this, can you give me advice on this? And I hear like a totally different perspective on it. If you're constantly only allowing yourself to meet a certain type of people, that protecting your peace is not going to work. You're getting in this comfort zone that inevitably is unhealthy. For one, getting to know different people that are different for you, for one, is going to help you learn so much. If you don't want to pick up a book, if you don't want to sit up here and actually do research about the world, if you meet people of different ethnicities, different cultures, who grew up in different ways, who grew up in different households, like, that is going to be a learning experience in itself. If you don't want to literally go like watch a documentary or some shit, like, you will learn so much about like just different people. Second of all, being friends with people different from you helps you grow, because they can offer you a perspective on something that you're not used to. And some people avoid people who are different from them because they want friends that are just going to agree with everything they say, because you know what? They think they're protecting their peace, because when other people tell them about some shit they do, it makes them uncomfortable. Yeah, you have to be open to meeting different people. Choose connection. Like, pursue connections that make you feel uncomfortable. Not in a way of like, you know, you totally can't be yourself uncomfortable, but pursue connections that kind of offer you something different than what you're used to, and like, I promise you, like, you will feel fulfilled. And for my last point, protecting your peace will not always work. As much as you want to protect your peace, it might not always work, because at the end of the day, life can throw anything at you at any time. While you put in all this effort and all this work avoiding this or avoiding that because you wanted to protect your peace, meanwhile you did all that and boom, you had your peace, then something like just explodes up in your face and you're like, like, yeah, I just did all this work to protect my peace and I just had this happen to me. Like, trust me, I understand any person will be caught off guard by like anything, you know what I'm saying, that happens to them unexpectedly. Nobody expects bad things to happen to them, but at the same time, like, if you spend all this effort doing something just for something else to come and just whoosh it all away, you spent so much energy trying to build this perfect like life, or this perfect conflict, non-avoidable conflict type of life, which, like I said, avoid unnecessary conflict. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that you created this life trying to avoid any minor conflict, and then it's like boom, something pops up on you, and all that work that you just spent, all that time you just spent organizing things and trying to avoid the minor things because you wanted to protect your peace, because you thought, oh my god, if I run this to this person, they might say this to me, and and then something else comes. Like, you're gonna be tired from that because you just spent all your time trying to make this perfect reality, perfect scenario, but it's like then something else comes up and it's just like, fuck all that. Honestly, that's something I'm trying to work on, me personally, because I hate when I have my mind set on I'm gonna do this and this today, and then boom, I have to do this other thing that I didn't like mentally prepare myself for. It's like, that's kind of the way I live my life and protecting my peace. If I don't have something planned for my day, I probably won't do it until the next day, because I'm the type of person like, oh, like, I didn't plan to do this today, like, I'm gonna do this the next day. But I'm trying to get better with, like, if it's something small, it's different if it's something big, but if it's something small and I didn't plan on doing it today and it comes up, like, I want to start challenging myself, like, okay, like, you can do this today. Like, it's not gonna totally like disrupt your whole world, because like every time something like that happens to me, it just always feels like it's disrupting like my whole world, you know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to like get out of that. I'm trying to grow. Like, definitely this year, like, I want to like gain that, so though I can build my mental stamina and stuff like that, and just overall just try to practice being in like that peaceful state of just like, you know, like my neutral state is like peaceful, but yet anything else that comes at me is not gonna make me like crash out in my mind. You know, I'm like halfway there. I feel like I'm a cool 60%. I'm a cool 60% there, because I used to be not there at all, like, but I feel like I'm like 60% there, but I want to get to at least be 80% there, because, you know, I do feel like some little things will always bother me a little bit, because I can be a little bit of like a control freak when I have my mind. Well, I'm not even a control freak. Like, when I have my mind set for shit, it's just set for shit. Like, you gotta like you just gotta like come with some like you gotta come correct, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, so that's all I really have to say. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, or comment any type of content that you want. And yeah, I will see you guys on the next video.